Grace. And this is my boyfriend Zach. We both quit our jobs, packed up all of our stuff, flew halfway across the world, and we're bringing you with us. So right now we are on our way to Thong Sala Pier, and we are going to Koh Tao. It's an island about an hour and 45 minutes away from us. So we're pretty excited, pretty pumped. We're gonna be there for a couple of days, and we have a really exciting snorkeling excursion booked. So super excited about that. And Koh Tao is supposed to be really known for its marine life, a good place to snorkel and scuba dive. We just got to the ferry port, and you can purchase tickets from any of these places, shuttles, buses, etc. And they have like little signs up like this that will tell you where you're going and how much. We booked Song Serm, and we booked online at One2Go in advance, and it was actually cheaper to do it that way, and also less stressful because you know exactly what time you're heading out. You don't have to wait for the next ferry to go. You already know what time it is. So I would suggest actually booking online ahead of time, but even if you don't, you can just pop down to Thong Sala Pier and get a ticket. You could go back to Koh Samui. There's a bunch of different places you could go to from this pier, but like I said, we're going to Koh Tao. We got here super early. We have about an hour before our ferry takes off, and then we have about a 2-hour ride to Koh Tao. So I will see you guys when we get there. Welcome to Koh Tao. We just got off the pier, booked the first taxi we saw, and now we're on our way to our hostel. After we got dropped off, we checked into the hostel, dropped our bags, and then sprinted to the nearest restaurant. Cheers! We just made it to Fizz Beach Bar in Koh Tao. We checked into our hostel. It's definitely not the nicest, but we are right on the beach, so that's nice. And we just walked to Fizz, and we're going to get some food. It's a very nice view of the beach and the ocean, and there's a little DJ spot. It opened at 4, and we got here at like 4:11, so there's no one here, but it is very nice. And I got the summer cooler to drink. It is a mocktail, and it is very good. It has, I think, orange and mango and maybe some club soda on ice, and it's a nice little refresher for these hot days. I got the chicken satay, and it came with a salad and some fries. Perfect, because it's a mix of everything. And Zach got some fried rice with chicken. After eating, we sank into some beanbags on the beach, played some games, grabbed a few drinks, and watched the sunset before calling it an early night. We are on our way to our snorkeling excursion. We just got picked up in this taxi.
could even think about snorkeling, we had to climb aboard. Literally. There was a huge gap between the dock and the boat, so we had to climb down a sketchy little ladder, step on a tire, and then pull ourselves onto the boat. And just when we thought we'd made it, we were told to keep going. So we spent the next few minutes boat hopping across an entire fleet of boats before finally reaching the one that was actually ours. But hey, I guess that's just how they do it here in Koh Tao. Our first stop on the snorkeling tour was Koh Nangyuan, a protected island and national park just off the coast of Koh Tao. Entry usually costs 250 baht per person, but our entry was actually included in our tour. Once we got dropped off, we had about 2 hours of free time. Some people snorkeled, others relaxed on the beach. We spent some time checking out the island before deciding to hike up to the famous viewpoint, thinking it would be quick and easy. Spoiler, it wasn't.
This is not for the weak. This is steep.
Once we got near the top, we hit a bit of a standstill. The viewpoint sits on a giant rock, and only one group at a time can get up for a photo. So we waited our turn, but it was worth it because the view was gorgeous.
This is the way down. So make sure you guys be careful when you come.
After finally getting up to the top, we climbed back down just in time to hop back on the boat and head to our next stop.
That's my chicken, fried chicken, that's deep fried chicken, fried noodle.
On the way to our next stop, we had a buffet spread with Thai cuisine, and it was really good, but I was not feeling so great after the lunch. Don't get me wrong, the lunch was fantastic, but the combination of eating and the motion of the sea did not sit well with me at all. But the tour went on and we headed to our first snorkeling spot. It was Zach's first time snorkeling, so I decided to leave the camera behind to just enjoy the moment. And of course, it ended up being the best snorkeling spot of the day, and we saw tons of fish. I still wasn't feeling great when we got to the second snorkel spot, but the first one had been so good I didn't want to skip it. Immediately no. I've seen what I needed to see. Immediately no. As soon as I got in though, I knew it was a mistake. The water was insanely choppy. I got right back on the boat feeling worse than ever. By the time we reached the third spot, I was over it, to be honest. So we stayed on the boat to recover while everyone else snorkeled. But we made the most of it. We went to the upper deck of the boat and relaxed in the reclining net to enjoy the view before heading to the next spot. By the time we got to the final snorkeling spot, I wasn't feeling completely awful anymore, but I also still wasn't feeling great. So I wasn't really planning on getting in the water until I heard our guide say that there was a turtle, and of course that changed everything. I had been snorkeling and diving for years and never actually saw a sea turtle in real life, so I immediately ran and jumped off the boat. And the turtle was so huge, basically the same size as me. So in the end, I didn't actually get any snorkeling footage, but don't worry, there's a lot more snorkeling trips to come, and I did get footage in those videos, I promise. So make sure you subscribe to stay tuned so you don't miss any of our next adventures. Overall, the experience was good, aside from the seasickness, of course, but if I ever came back to Koh Tao, I'd probably skip the snorkeling tour and go for a scuba diving excursion instead. I've always wanted to see a whale shark, and this island is known as a good place to see whale sharks when you're scuba diving. Then it was time to head back to the island. On the way, we cruised into the sunset with mocktails and dinner. The food was really good, but I still couldn't eat as much as I wanted to since I still wasn't feeling 100%, but I was finally starting to come around though.
And these are the stairs to get to our place, and I'm going to show you it's right in the middle of town, right in the middle of everything, which is pretty cool. That was the biggest perk, that and the pool. Well, you got a shop here, you got shops all down here, and then the beach right there. And then these are the stairs up to the place, right next to this bar and restaurant that's open pretty late. So here we are on our way to check out and go back to Koh Phangan after a fun stay.
I didn't end up sharing much about our accommodation because honestly we weren't impressed and wouldn't recommend it, which was a bit of a letdown, especially since I had hyped up my hostel experiences to Zach. And he was really skeptical before we booked, and this definitely didn't help my case. But the upside was the location, and at least we were only there for 2 nights. After checking out of our very average hostel, it was time for lunch, and I was craving curry. I had been dreaming about it since the night before, but by the time I was ready to eat, everything was closed. So yeah, the curry cravings were real.
We just got to Lotus Bar and Restaurant, and I was so hungry since last night I was craving curry and no restaurants were open. I got the masaman curry and Zach got pad thai as per usual, and it is so delicious. Oh my gosh. Flavor, it's so good, so good. You have to come here.
After lunch, we had a few hours to kill before our ferry, so we walked around and explored the island. we stumbled across this oceanfront spa, and I couldn't resist stopping in for a little mani-pedi. It was one of the nicest nail salons I've ever been to. The sound of the waves, the salty breeze, all the doors wide open, it felt so peaceful and relaxing. My nail tech did such an incredible job too. My mani and pedi lasted longer than it ever has before, and the service was super affordable.
Just got the best mani-pedi of my entire life at Island Massage in Koh Tao. Just watching the beautiful waves and hearing the waves crashing, and I was sat front row with all the doors open, and it was just amazing.
After the spa, I worked up an appetite, so of course it was time for another snack. And if it seems like all we do is eat, well, it's probably because that is all we do.
We just devoured the spring rolls, and I forgot to show you, but this is a tuning poke bowl. Literally, that you put the plate down and we just went for it. My bad, I need to get better at vlogging food. Or see, I see food, I eat it. What can I say?
After eating our second lunch of the day, it was time to wrap up our time on Koh Tao Island.
We did the most amazing excursion around Koh Tao Island, and we used Get Your Guide to book it. I'll link everything in the description. It was a little bit more expensive than the rest of the excursions that you could have booked. It was around 65 USD, but that included your pickup, your drop off. It included all of the meals that you guys saw and a couple snacks, fruit. We got lunch, dinner. We even got a mocktail mojito at the end on the way cruising into the sunset. It was so beautiful. And also, you're paying for the service. You're paying for the experience. The other excursions are around 25 USD, but that doesn't include your entry to the national park. That doesn't include your dinner. And also, the group size varied drastically. So with the cheaper one, you're getting 40 to 60 people, and with the excursion that we did, I think the max is 20 people. We had 16 people in our group. You also get the guide that goes out with you and guides the way. The other excursions, you don't get that. You are kind of off on your own. And he pointed out marine life, like a baby shark we saw at one point, and we saw a huge sea turtle around 3 feet. It was like more than half the size of me. It was beautiful. I've been scuba diving, I've been snorkeling, and I have never seen a sea turtle, and that was on my bucket list. I was so happy to see that. I have to say though, I was violently ill the first part of the trip, and even though I was feeling seasick the first part of it, which was very unusual for me, it was still so beautiful, and I'm so glad that we got to experience that. And I hope that one day you guys can come to Koh Tao and experience this for yourselves. If you do the excursion that we did, or if you do a different one, I really hope that you all get the chance to come and experience this beautiful paradise of an island. So I'm gonna close off the video, and we are going to enjoy the rest of this beautiful island until we go back to Koh Phangan.
I pack your baby Sam. I got no plan in mind. Wherever we don't care.
And now we are off on our next adventure. We're heading someplace where most people dream of going. A place known for its vibrant culture, terraced rice fields, jungle waterfalls, and sacred temples. That's right, we're headed to Bali. It's where some of our most epic adventures are about to unfold. So if you've made it this far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because you are definitely not gonna wanna miss this.
Let's ride.